So Bashar al-Assad was overthrown, and it's really open season on the Middle Eastern dictators. It's been the case for decades now. And so, could Egypt be next? That's the question. Could Egypt be next? After Assad's end, Egypt reportedly on undeclared state of high alert because Egypt is under a dictator, the dictator of al-Sisi. And so could he be next on the list? Remember, Mubarak was in power in Egypt, and then there was the Egyptian Revolution of 2011. NATO backed that revolution to overthrow Mubarak, and they got the Muslim Brotherhood to take over Egypt. The Arabs over there in the Arabian Peninsula, they said, hell no, we can't allow the Muslim Brotherhood to rule one of our Arab neighbors, because then that could encourage the Muslim Brotherhood to start revolutions in the Arab Peninsula. We can't allow that, and so the Arabs did a revolution against the revolutionaries. And Morsi, Mohammed Morsi, the Muslim Brotherhood tyrant, who was beginning his rule over Egypt, and he wanted to impose Sharia law, Morsi was overthrown. And then he was replaced with Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Kind of like what happened after the French Revolution. They beheaded the king, they killed the queen, and then all of a sudden Spain and Austria and Great Britain declared war on France. Why? Well, because these countries were all under monarchies, and they were terrified that the sentiments or the hysteria of the French Revolution would expand into the rest of Europe and would encourage revolutions against them. So the same thing happened with in the Middle East. Mubarak was overthrown, and the Arabs said, yeah, we're not going to allow this to happen because that could happen in our countries. I think al-Sisi would survive. I hope you're right, but let's see what happens, because not all of us expected Bashar al-Assad to be toppled at the rate that he was. And let's not forget, Turkey wants to control Egypt. Turkey and Egypt are in competition over natural gas in the Mediterranean. Not really competition, but Egypt has its own rights over its own natural gas in its own maritime territory. Turkey wants to encroach on that and take the natural gas from the Egyptians. It's really all imperialistic thievery at the end of the day. So that's what's going on. So, and let's not forget, there was a revolution in Libya, and who's in Libya right now? Who's got a big military presence in Libya? Turkey does. So Turkey wants to control North Africa. Turkey wants to control Egypt. Again, this is the revival of the Ottoman Empire. So it could be that one day Turkey will back a revolution in Egypt, and you could see another revolution in that country. There's a huge beef between the Egyptians and the Turks. That's exactly right. So let's read this article here. I underlined some sections. Yeah, I almost forgot to mention this article. This is a really good one. Security agencies in Egypt have placed the country over the past hours under an undeclared state of high alert, following the downfall of Syria's former dictator Bashar al-Assad, as neither have pro-Syria celebrations nor protests been allowed anywhere in Egypt. So they're saying no protests, no celebrating the fall of Assad on the streets of Egypt. That's not going to happen. We don't want to promote revolutionary thinking or revolutionary action in Egypt. The armed forces, meanwhile, have been in a state of readiness as orders came directly from the presidency for troops to be deployed on the streets of Egypt in case riots erupt or even potential chaos is anticipated. A source inside the presidency told the New Arab on condition of anonymity for not being authorized to talk to the media. According to the source, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has been following up on the situation around the clock as he expressed obvious concerns about possible protests to erupt in support of the fall of his longtime ally Assad, even in the form of celebrations, whether by Syrians or Egyptians or both. The presidential source further said that al-Sisi may extend his European tour for several more days until his aides reassure him about the stability of the situation in Egypt. So al-Sisi, I'm not sure if he's back home, because this article came out, I want to say this article came out a few days ago, but he was, so, al-Sisi was doing this tour in Europe, and his people told him, hey, you may want to stay in Europe for a few more days or some more time until we can confirm that the position or the atmosphere on the ground is stable enough for you to return. The presidential source further said that Sisi may... Okay, I already read that. Egyptian security forces arrested 17 Syrian nationals as they celebrated the end of Assad's era early on Sunday in 6th of October City, on the outskirts of Giza province, known for being a hub for large gatherings of Syrians, a security source told TNA. TNA is the New Era, by the way, who also asked to remain anonymous for similar reasons. The National Security Agency summoned the leaders of groups that have to do with Syrian refugees in the country who cooperate with security bodies, especially, and informed them that there would be no tolerance shown towards any such moves. In other words, no pro-Syrian revolution garbage in Egypt, because we don't want to promote revolutionary thinking in Egypt, because the Egyptians are terrified of the idea of another Egyptian revolution. We could actually see another revolution in Egypt. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit, because the Turks want to control Egypt. They want to take the resources, they want to take the territory, they want to revive empire. It really is that simple. Just like they have a military presence in Libya already. They took advantage of the chaos in that country. They could do the same damn thing in Egypt. And they almost did. When Mohammed Morsi was running Egypt, what do you think he was? He was an ally of the Turks. He's Muslim Brotherhood. Where is the Muslim Brotherhood headquartered? Turkey. That's the center of Muslim Brotherhood activities. That's the center of Muslim Brotherhood planning. It's in Turkey. Turkey is a big, big backer. It's the biggest backer of the Muslim Brotherhood. Oops. There's a really bad economic situation in Egypt. The economy there is terrible. So they're going to try to use the grievances, the economic woes of the people to foment revolution. I don't think the Americans will let Egypt fall because of the canal. Right, but if the Turks are controlling it, the Turks are an ally of the Americans will say, okay, that's fine. That's why the Americans want Turkey to be on the side of NATO. That's the reason why. Turkey is a wild card. Turkey is a bull in a china store. And if the Turks go to the side of the Russians, that's a big problem for NATO, because Turkey can take control of several areas of the Middle East. They can take control of the Arab world, control over North Africa, control over the Middle East, and then cooperate with the Russians and deprive NATO of access into certain areas in territory that it would control. And that's why the Americans are so terrified of the idea of Turkey going to the side of the Russians. Erdogan saying that he wants to join BRICS, that pissed off a lot of Americans, that pissed off the U.S. government. And I think the Americans are going to try to push for nationalists to rule over Turkey, Kemalist, because the Kemalists, I think, they tend to be more pro-Western, from my understanding.